Sirens going off in the background, and that must mean that the Indianapolis Colts offense is on the field. No, it doesn't. But it does mean we're about to hear from Jim Bob Cooter talk about Jonathan Taylor and why Jonathan Taylor the last couple of weeks really has not been able to run the football at a Jonathan Taylor level. Is it as simple as, hey, you got three rookies on the offensive line and they're not able to open the holes necessary for Taylor to find a seam? Or is it something with Jonathan? Is it something schematically that defenses are doing? What is going on? Why can't Jonathan Taylor carry the ball toward the end zone as he has for so long here in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think it's important, for our whole run game to be as consistent and as positive as can be, down after down, play after play. We're looking at all the details of that, from schemes to fundamentals and techniques, just to everything. Obviously had a lot of success around here running the ball, and we want to get back to that and sort of find the way to unlock that thing. So we're working behind the scenes here to get those details ironed out and let JT be JT.
James.
Jim Bob, what does Sam Ellinger mean to that quarterback room?
Yeah, Sam's great. Sam's great. Obviously does a heck of a job sort of working around here, practice field, meeting rooms, all that stuff. When you get into we're in a bunch of offensive meetings with the whole offense in there, and then we break into quarterback meetings from time to time. You're talking through just a ton of stuff with Anthony, with Joe. Sam's got a lot of experience. He's able to really dive into the details of, maybe schematic thoughts or ways he's run things before, or sort of maybe how he sees defenses and those type of things. He's a really valuable member of that room. Does a really nice job for us in there, and sort of, I think when we're tossing around ideas and tossing around sort of the best way to read a play, or the best way to think about attacking a defense, Sam's really intricately involved in those discussions and does a really nice job in there.
Evan.
Jim Bob, how do you guys as a staff define like an efficient run play? Yeah, I'm sure it's more than just a yards per carry look at it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sort of common ways to do that, and it has to do with down and distance, and more or less, is it a positive play for your offense moving forward? Which, like I said, it's different on 1st and 10 than it is on 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 4. We define those each a little bit different, which would be boring for me to dive into. But you can, these stats websites do a decent job of sort of having that win or loss type of play, that efficient or inefficient type of play. And I would say more or less our evaluations sort of play in a similar role to some of those websites, I'd bet you.
And then Jonathan's just, there's been a lot of like 3 yards or less lately. How much do you just point to, you got to establish the line of scrimmage better?
Well, the running the football it's a team, or it's an offensive unit sort of thing. It's all 11 of us. It's the blockers. It's the runner. It's, sort of getting the ball handed off, ball handling, those type of things. It's the scheme that we're working on here in the building. It's teaching it during the week. It's working it. Fundamentals and techniques are always boring to talk about, but shoot, pad level and just all that stuff. It's a little more complex than that, but it's all involved. We're all a part of this thing. Really, really important for offensive football to be sort of consistently successful in all different areas, and the run game being a big part of that. Something we're looking to improve.
JJ.
Hey, Jim Bob, with Gerard Mayo, he obviously played in New England for a while. He's on their coaching staff for a while. Like, how much do you see him carrying over some of the tenets of a Belichick defense versus maybe putting his own little spin on it?
Yeah, I think, to my vantage point, you're seeing a little bit of both. Gerard's been there a long, long time. Gerard and I were actually old college teammates. I'm going to write these stories for you guys, but we were old college teammates. Gerard, obviously a great player in the league, great player for a long time, and has really become a great coach. Has done so much of those things at New England that we've all seen over the years. But anytime I think you take over an offense or a defense, you want to put your spin on things, and we're seeing a little bit of that with those guys. But I think when you do that, you don't want to get rid of too many old things that you do really, really well. And I think that's what I see them trying to balance and work on. And they've been playing good defense around there for a long, long time. And gosh, they're tough, tough to move the ball on, tough to score a lot of points on. They play you really, really tough, and they have for a long time.
What do you remember about him as a player?
Yeah, I mean, excellent, excellent player. Work ethic like no other. Staying after practice, before practice, picking guys' brains around him, whether it's as a young player picking a vet player's brain or, as a defender picking an offensive player's brain on what they're seeing or how things go. He was a student of the game, took it really, really seriously, which sort of showed up with the level of success that he had in his career as a player. He's, unbelievable teammate, guy to work with and all that stuff. Looking forward to seeing him here in a few days and competing against him.
Last few here. Chap?
Yeah, Jim Bob, you always hear that there's no excuses, but there are reasons. With the run game, I mean, when you've got 3 rookies on the offensive line, aren't you going to see some regression, if that's the right word, or inefficiency, or do you just not go there?
Well, like I said, I'm more a function of trying to fix every single detail. We watch these plays. We come in after the game and we watch all the plays and we watch them a million times as a staff, as a team, as units, as positions, all that stuff. And I'm really watching all 11 players and I'm evaluating the scheme that we put them in and sometimes the down and distance or situation that they get put in when they're running these plays. And we evaluate all those things and, we try to give some pluses and some minuses and obviously coaching points to improve for next time. I really try not to zero in on one guy or one group or one, whatever, young guys, vet guys, any of that stuff. It's a unit aspect. It's something we're all working on and we can all improve different areas. So that's what we're looking to do. Just sort of as we're evaluating moving forward, how can we do that better? Starts with us coaching wise, putting the guys in the best possible position to go have success and really evaluating what that is this time of week to go have success on Sunday. That's an important part of Tuesday in the NFL is us putting together a really good plan so that our guys can go have that success. And then we got to go teach it and they got to go learn it and we got to go execute it. But it's a unit game. It's a unit aspect of the game and we all have our role in it.
A quick follow-up away from that, but we'll see what Josh Downs' status is and availability. How have you seen the receiver room grow or evolve to where if he's not there, not that you're not going to miss him, but you can compensate somehow?
Yeah, really. I mean, those guys work so hard in that room. I really like the depth we have in that room. We're out here at practice and we're watching different parts of the practice field, and sometimes it's our starters out there. Sometimes it's maybe the backup guys. Sometimes they're running cards for the defense, and I see wide receivers making plays on all aspects of that thing. Those guys are ready when their number's called, and we've had different situations this year where different guys have been up or down, or maybe even just within the flow of a game where a guy's been down for a drive or he's back in the locker room for a little bit. There's no shortage of guys in that receiver room that are ready to answer the bell when their number's called. And so, if that is the case or at any point this year, we're really confident in that room and confident in those guys that they're ready to go.
Thank you.
Nate?
Hey, Jim Bob, what do you guys look at as a staff to tell you whether this tight end room you currently have is kind of doing what you want or meeting expectation? And I guess, how do you think they are doing in that regard? How close are they to kind of what you envision they would be this year?
Yeah, same sort of discussion. I mean, every sort of game that we play, we evaluate every rep and sort of plus, minus, and all that stuff. And guys are going to have their pluses and their minuses throughout the year. But, as we're evaluating, putting together our plan during the week, putting together our situational plan with different aspects of the game, who's playing where, who we want to play where, sort of ups and downs of those types of decisions. Sometimes it's just personnel based against the defense. How much 11 personnel do you want to play? 12, 13, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We do try to evaluate that within every week and ultimately give our guys the best chance to go win a ball game and let everybody have a chance to help us win that ball game. You get publicized a lot statistically. You don't always get as publicized some of the things that don't show up on the stat sheet. There's a lot of good ball being played in that room. hey, we all got our pluses and minuses. We're going to have a few along the way, sort of within each game at every room for all of us. But those guys really, really put in good work days. They come to work, they get better. They go out there, they play hard. They're putting a lot of good plays on tape. We'll keep working. We'll keep working with them, keep working to sort of find our best path to beat these New England Patriots this week. And that tight end room is going to be a big part of this.
Joel,
Any grudge matches with Mayo from the college days? Any practice dust up?
Well, hey, I don't know if you followed my college career that closely, but I think Gerard Mayo was out there with the ones a little bit more than I was. Maybe I'll have to think back to some old scout team moves, but no, Gerard was such a great teammate, man. You could tell coming in, even as a young man, as a freshman coming in, and I was a little bit older than Gerard. Just watching the way he went about his work, it was like, man, this guy's going to be something. This guy's pretty impressive, and that held up over the years and was actually even better. So no, he's a great old teammate of mine. I'm looking forward to catching up with him. I don't know if I ever have any good stories on my end, so I better hold off on saying them. But yeah, looking forward to seeing him. See if we'll talk about a little Tennessee Vols before we get to competing against each other.
last one here with James.
Jim Bob, what did you think of the way Anthony ran the ball this past Sunday? I know it was a career high in rushing, but just how did you see him making decisions out there with the ball in his hands?
Yeah, there were some quarterback focused runs that we thought had a shot to have success against that defense. That defense plays pretty tough in the run game, and we had some things we liked, and those hit pretty well. And Anthony found the right spot to hit those things pretty well. Then he got into the second level, and that's sort of been our set of discussions all year where, Anthony's making open field decisions about trying to maximize the yards out there, trying to make those great plays, and then from time to time sliding and protecting himself. It's a ongoing balance that he's working on and we're working on. He's out there trying to make plays, and that's a good thing. From time to time, he's sliding, and we're just trying to sort of keep working on when those decisions are to get made. But he's out there running hard, and sometimes he's tough to tackle, and I think he knows that. He knows that the defenders know that too. But we'll balance that a little bit with the needs of the position and the needs of our offense moving forward.
Kind of interesting to hear that Jim Bob Cooter and Gerard Mayo were teammates in college. I didn't remember that. Both guys played at Tennessee at the same time, and interesting to hear about work ethic. Work ethic travels. If you got a good work ethic, you're going to get a lot more out of your talent than somebody who doesn't have a great work ethic. And if you want to coach, you better have a great work ethic. So there's kind of the lesson for us that we take from Jim Bob Cooter and his description of his former college teammate at the University of Tennessee. Interesting, that last answer about Anthony Richardson. They want Richardson to slide. Richardson is not elusive. Richardson does not make guys miss. So Richardson is putting his shoulder into guys, and if he puts his shoulder into the wrong guy, he ain't going to get up right away. And that's going to be a problem for the Colts because nobody wants to see Joe Flacco back starting at quarterback for the Colts. You're not making the playoffs. You may not make the playoffs with Richardson as your starting quarterback, but sure as hell, you're not making the playoffs with this roster and Joe Flacco starting at quarterback. That is not going to happen. So Richardson has got to learn to be more prudent with his body and understand that you're not always going to win those QB against linebacker or QB against DB fracases, those collisions.